Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. Patrick Donava here. This is my dad.
Patrick Sr.
And this is Maverick. So in this video, we're going to be working on just different mobility exercises. In particular, really working on lower back pain issues. So give the audience a little bit of a background on what you do and, kind of the issues you kind of have with some lower back pain.
Right now, presently 55 years old, 30-year UPS driver, package delivery. So right now, I'm just at 53. I started getting really tight in my joints, tendons. Flexibility has been a problem. So I'm trying to get back to where 50 the 6 years ago would be really nice. Just flexibility and my tendons to get stretched,
And how often would you say that you hear people at work kind of complain about lower back pain?
Well, it's there's not. I'd say 85% of the people at UPS that are drivers have back problems, shoulders, a lot of rotor cuffs, a lot of knee problems, and that's why I feel very fortunate at 55 years old, never have any major injuries as far as that. My back problems stem from rear end collision from a tractor, and I was in my UPS truck about 20 years ago, and I've had episodes of exacerbation of muscle spasms from that. But I think 30 years of UPS is probably the main culprit as far as I'm just getting older with age and time.
Yeah. And then especially too, because you're, most of your job, you're sitting in a truck, so you're in this fixed position where your hips are constantly being tightened, your glutes are turned off, and so then when you're getting out of the truck and you're lifting these really heavy packages, now you have to sort of activate the right muscle groups. But because you're actually sitting in your UPS truck, you basically have the wrong signals to your body for the things that you need to be doing, which is lifting and carrying heavy packages. So first exercise, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be focusing on the hip flexors. So Dad, I'm going to have you just kind of in a kneeling position, just kind of like how we were, like this. Okay. And you've probably seen this at the gym too, where I'll move back. So people kind of like leaning in and kind of like doing this forward lunge, and you might be feeling like some sort of stretch, but actually it's more of your thigh bone driving into your hip capsule. So that's not what we want. We really want to target right here in this area, as well as a little bit in your quads too. So what we're gonna do is, now I'm gonna do it the bad way, okay? I'm gonna be in this bad position, having this lower back arch, so really sort of exaggerating this sort of curvature in my lower back. Now I'm gonna make a slight little change. Did you see that? Okay, so this slight change allows our glutes to be in line with our pelvis getting underneath our spine, and which puts us in a nice neutral position. And so when we're doing that, we're actually activating the glutes. So it's a very slight squeeze on the left side. And this is called the length tension relationship. So what that means is when one muscle group is activated, contracted, its antagonist or opposite muscle has to be in a relaxed, lengthened position. Meaning, as we flex this glute, the front hip flexors are naturally going to be in a lengthened position, meaning we're stretching them. So Dad, facing this way or towards me. Okay. So you're going to engage this glute, tuck it underneath your pelvis, and you should feel a nice, good stretch all right here. So you want to make sure you have a nice, good, upright torso. Just being in this position alone is, if you've been sitting for long periods of time, you'll naturally already feel a stretch on this same side down knee right here.
Right, that's what I'm feeling, stretch now.
Yeah, and if you want to intensify it, if you can, Dad, with your right arm, so the same side arm that's down right here, you just bring it over upright like this, and do like almost like a little side bend to the left.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
And so right now we're starting to really open up our oblique areas and our lower abdomen. This area right here, really focus and taking nice deep breaths into this area. And I would spend about, depending on which side's tighter, about a minute to 2 minutes, just kind of working each side. Naturally, we'll tend to favor one side or the other, so you might notice a slight difference depending on which side you kind of favor more, what's the more dominant side. So this next exercise is called the fire hydrant. You just need like a physio ball or some object, relatively this height. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna bring one leg onto the ball like this, and you're gonna put your arms underneath your shoulders like this. And so naturally now what we're focusing on is this whole inner adductors area. So as you're driving your hips sort of to the ground, you're applying that force inwards, and then you're pushing the ball out that way, you're gonna feel a really, really, really nice stretch all in this mid-groin section area. And so right now we're just spending some time there working that out. So this is a really good exercise to do when you wake up, before you go to bed. I recommend if you are, you work a job where, you're sitting a lot, whether it is a 9-to-5 job or whether you drive for a living, this is a really good exercise to really help just opening up your hips. Next exercise we'll do, it's called the child pose. If you've done yoga before, this is a very popular one. So you're basically going to sit up on your hips like this, extend your arms out like this, and just breathe into that. And if you have really, really tight hips, which is one of the main reasons for lower back pain, then this position is going to be very, very uncomfortable. So if you can't get all the way down, that's perfectly fine. Just work your way to it, okay? If this is as far as you can get without being in an excruciating pain, then stay right here. Take a couple deep breaths, work and really focusing on your breath, and then just kind of push back a little bit more. And obviously the goal is you want to be able to sit all the way back like this, and then making sure your arms are extended out. Almost like you're trying to crawl your fingers up like this. And taking nice, really big, deep breaths. So whenever you feel that ending range of motion, just breathe into it, let your hips sink into it, and just focus on your breath. This is the love that you need to give to your hips. And hold this position for about a minute to 2. So the next exercise what we're going to do is focusing on glute activation. So now that we've spent some time stretching out our hip flexors, now we're going to work on turning on our glutes. So you're going to lay on your back like this. You really want to make sure your shins are as vertical as possible. This allows to take all the knee joint out of the equation. You're not putting any pressure on your knees. So if you're feeling any sort of discomfort in your knee, then try making sure on keeping this as vertical as possible. You don't want them out like over here. Okay? So you're going to have your hands on your side, you're going to squeeze your glutes, and then you're going to engage. So it's almost like a hip thrust on the floor, or in case of floor bridge. And so you're making this sort of bridge-like, or this 45-degree angled bridge. And then you're going to come down, up. Really focusing on that isometric hold, meaning the end range of motion at the top of the movement. Also, another key thing too, if you want to sort of have your feet pointed out just a little bit outwards, that's actually going to emphasize your hips externally rotating even more out. So this just really helps kind of focus more on that glute activation. Now we do about 3 sets of 15 to 20 reps. Notice how he has this nice 45-degree angle, glutes engaged at the top. Engage, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Nice, keep going.